Hey, welcome to episode 7 of the Tiffany Yvonne show, where we redefine what success really means so that we can create a life, leadership journey, and legacy that we absolutely love. So, whether you are a parent, a people leader, or you are planning your next big event, I know that there's been a time when you were forced to be ready before you were ready. In this episode, it is not just purpose driven, but it's personal. Biblically, number 7 in the Bible means completion. But this is a story not just about completing one thing, but also stepping into a new thing before you're ready. They always say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. But this one is about the birth of my twins, premature, unexpected, terrifying, right? So here I am planning to go to work for the day, but because I was high risk and I was 32 weeks, I had a weekly standing appointment to just be checked out for the kids before they arrived. And on this day, I went to have my regular appointment, and when I got there, the nurse who I loved, was like, "Oh, these babies are coming today." What? Oh no, I'm not ready. They're not ready. 32 weeks. You told me that they need to be at least 36 weeks in order to be healthy. Every day matters, every week matters. And so you're telling me they're going to come out 4 weeks early. How will they be? How will I be? Just terrifying. I told her, I can't do this. I have court at 1 o'clock. I was running a bunch of rental properties at the time, and I was thinking, um, I have people that need to get out who haven't paid. So I'm going to court. They'll be okay. It's not, she said, honey, if you want to deliver these children on the municipal court floor, then you take your bus to court. Otherwise, you assign that to someone else. Here's the first lesson from this story. Sometimes we are just holding on to all of these things to do. This whole long to-do list, this whole long of must be done things, when something can change in an instant and make you drop all of it. So, where in your life, in your leadership journey, are you holding on to things that you believe you just got to do, got to do, got to do? When if something unexpected, tragic, or emergent came about, you would have no choice but to drop it. Those are invitations to delegate some of the things that seem to be holding us down and holding us back. The story gets deeper though. Here they come, 32 weeks, they're out. Relatively healthy. One was 6 pounds, 2 ounces. The other one was 4 pounds, 11 ounces. And so big for preemies, right? Oh my gosh, they say they grow a pound a week. If they would have stayed in there for another 4 to 8 weeks, these kids would have came out gigantuan. So not the biggest deal, but they did not have the skills to feed regularly. And that meant we were going to go for a long haul in the NICU. Now, if you've ever been a mom delivering children, you already know that the hormones are raging, that mentally it is exhausting, even as you welcome something very beautiful into your life. So having to go to the NICU for me was a scarlet letter type of stamp, like your children are not healthy. And as a recovering perfectionist, definitely not recovered 13 years ago, they turned 13 today. I was thinking, this is bad. And so for the first week, I was calm. By the second week, when we were still there, I was not only stir crazy from being in confined quarters, but also just like, when do my babies get to go home? Why aren't my babies healthy? Why are my babies suffering? Why is this breaky monitor going off over and over and alarming me and freaking me out however often? Like, why? And um, I went to the nurse and I was just really emotionally spent. And I said to her, um, this is so sad. I'm so sad. And with not a lot of empathy, oh, this is what happens when you record somewhere that's not your normal space, talking about the unexpected. With not a lot of empathy, she turned to me and she said, your babies are just here to feed and grow. There's a baby over there born with their stomach outside their body. There's a baby over there with such a, and I was just thinking, aren't you breaking HIPAA laws? Right? Also, that was my defense mechanism because what was happening in the moment, and I'm sure unintentionally, she was minimizing my pain, shaming my vulnerability, and silencing my struggle. I already had enough mom guilt. I didn't need those things. And so, where are we doing that to ourselves? Where are we allowing someone to silence our pain, compare our struggles, and force us to not be in tune with how whatever we're experiencing, how that makes us feel? And what's the effect of that, right? So here's the flip side. Fast forward a few weeks later, we got to go home. And at home now, I had, my husband and my son. And, but most people know that it's usually on the mom, or at least if the mom is a self proclaimed superwoman, it's on her to continue to do all of the things for the babies. And so I'm sitting there and I'm holding them and I'm nursing them. And I'm having a flashback to when my OB had told me, you're going to need an au pair. And I was thinking, first of all, how much does that cost? And second of all, I'm not letting nobody in my house because I saw way too many Law and Order episodes. They might steal my children and run off somewhere with them. They're like, no, 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 not me. I can do this. And in the night, as they were not on a simultaneous sleep schedule. So one would wake and then the other would go to sleep and the other one would wake and the other one would go to sleep. And so I was just up and juggling and moving and grooving, right? And at one point I was just so exhausted. And I started to think, dang, it's whatever time of day or night it was. This is when the shifts change at the NICU. Where's Nurse Nikki? Where's Nurse whatever, right? All of those things I was rejecting. The au pair, the nurses, the monitors, the beeping things that would go off when something wrong. All those things were then stripped away. And what I thought was going to be my most strong moment, I can do it all by myself. This sucks and I don't want to be in this situation moment, shifted to, you get to ask for help. You actually liked help. You actually needed help. You actually could have appreciated that help. And maybe, just maybe, through the wrong choice of words, but maybe that's what this nurse was trying to say. How about stop choosing to sit in your sadness and instead step into the lessons of what it looks like to be surrounded by support when you don't get the choice or of whether or not to be ready. When it's go time, when it's kind of how they say you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Yeah, that's what they say. When you are thrust into a situation, whether it is a premature birth of some children, whether it is a new project that is innovative and change and challenge are coming left and right, whether it is a personal relationship, whatever change is forced upon us, what might it look like for us to be willing to ask for help, for us to be willing to accept help, for us to be willing to say, hey, I need some help over here, and to fully express how we feel in the moment without being shamed by anyone else or not allowing anyone else's opinions or judgment to silence our shame. Too often when we are standing in comparison to what this person has or that person has or what these babies are suffering from or what these families are facing, in my instance, we tend to shut ourselves down. Not asking for help shuts ourselves down. And so the lesson in this story is ask for help. Speak your truth. Life will always throw you change and challenge. I say change and challenge are always, and uncertainty is certain. So it's not about whether or not it's coming. It's about how you can already set your mindset to be prepared and proactive when it arrives. So I'd ask you, where in your life are you running? Where in your life are you waiting to be ready? And what might it look like for you to stop pushing through and instead pause, plan by seeing who's around, seeing who's available, asking unapologetically for help, expressing how you feel, because that's truly how you play to win. So today's theme song, ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. It's going to find you. Yes, life is always going to find us. And in those moments, we get two options. Will we get through it? Will we go through it? Or will we grow through it? And so whatever change and challenge is coming in your world, work, or life today, I would just ask you, how can you lighten your load a little bit, ask for help, and tell your truth unapologetically? Stay tuned for episode 8. I'm going to talk about what it feels like to birth a new thing, right? In my instance, it was babies. It may be business. It may be maybe something different for you. But in episode 8, I'm going to talk about how you can make the birthing experience one that is unforgettable. All right. Until next time, peace, love, and play to win. I'll see y'all soon.